All right, and welcome into Fantasy Pros Live on the YouTube channel. The NFL draft is in the rear view, but we're still here answering your fantasy football questions when it comes to rookies, whether that's dynasty or redraft purposes. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and I'm joined by a man who celebrated the NFL draft by moving a 400-pound piano into his house this weekend. Derek Brown, aka D-Bro. How's it going this afternoon, man? Have you recovered at all from the piano moving?
Not even gonna lie. We moved a piano. Basically, I moved a piano into our house for my daughter over the weekend. I was struggle busting, but we got it in here, made it happen. I woke up the next morning and it was like kind of one of those old moments. I was like, man, my back is sore, my traps are sore. Like, why are they sore? And then I was like, later in the day, I was like, damn, I'm really sore, man. Like, what did I do to? Oh, that's right, I moved a piano. Okay, well, there's that, man. But dude, what is this? Hour 4 of you and me recording today. We got knocked out both the NFC and AFC draft grade shows this morning.
Yes.
Those are live on YouTube maybe tomorrow and later in the week.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, can we say we made it? We're here. This is like Christmas. We talk about Christmas as the NFL draft, but this is Christmas. Like this is the launch of like Dynasty rookie draft season is here. I'm in how many drafts are you in right now, Seth? I'm in 4 rookie drafts right now.
I'm in 2 right now.
Okay. So I mean, I think this is a perfect day and a perfect time for everybody to get super chats in, get questions in. I know we have drafts going on, so we can kind of reflect on what we're currently seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, Erickson, myself, everybody with the team. We updated Dynasty rookie drafts and rookie rankings. Those updates are live on the site. So we wanted people prepped, Seth, to be ready to rock it because we knew coming on Monday, like all these drafts are going to be popping off, dude. So I think we're going to unpack it today.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost what you said. Like the draft is Christmas morning, but then you have to like go to your grandparents' house and you don't get to play with any of your toys until you get home for the day. We're home for the day, baby. We're home. So no agenda for today's stream. We're just here to answer your questions. As Derek mentioned, rookie drafts are going on. And there are some people I'm drafting with, some really sharp people that I still think have no clue what's going on with the changing values. So we're here to help. Please send in your super chats for a guaranteed response to your questions. We will guarantee a response to all super chats within the first 20 minutes of the show. And looks like we already got some chats coming in. Looks like we got Pedro hanging out with us, Stein, Dominic saying what's up.
I see you, Dom.
Let's go. We got Paul saying, let's go, coming off a fantasy championship in parts. Thanks to you guys. Let's go, man. We appreciate that. And as our producer Seth here in the back end noted, while you're here, please make sure you guys like this video and also subscribe to the channel. We got a ton of great content. I think between Friday and Saturday and yesterday, D-Bro, we have about 30 clips out there from NFL draft live reactions. So if people want any of like our initial thoughts and, you had some great sound bites, my friend, because when your guys went off the board.
Because I'm a fool, and I just say it, I get happy, man. People think I'm just being stupid on camera and stuff like that. I get happy when we see these players to go to good landing spots and good things happen. Trey Harrison, RJ Harvey, I'm staring at y'all.
Yes, I feel that. First question here from our guy Axel. What players are you hoping fall to you around the 112 and maybe the 212 in a 1 quarterback rookie dynasty league? What do you think, Derek? Removing the quarterback element from this in super flex formats, let's go to 1 QB. Who are you hoping is right around there at the turn?
I think and my ranks obviously are a little bit different than consensus and stuff. So I will say I'll hope anybody from like Trey Harris, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Higgins, Caleb Johnson, somebody in that tier is there. And the 2-3 guys I'm going after are Trey Harris. We got to have a conversation about Emeka Egbuka. I think he could get there in some formats, depending on how stuff could shake out, where Matthew Golden goes. He's a little more lower in my ranks. How are you approaching Emeka Egbuka with that? Like, I mean, if he's on the board versus, I think it's a really interesting conversation. Emeka Egbuka versus Trey Harris and Jaden Higgins. Like, if you need a wide receiver, it's like, are you valuing the capital? Are you valuing the situation? Higgins' landing spot looks kind of murky. Trey Harris has the clearest path, the volume that out of those 3. Like, how are you kind of handling that? And I know our ideas and thoughts on all this kind of stuff, because again, this is first reaction. This is the Monday after the NFL draft. So like, I'm open to people's like where they sit on things as we kind of get more time to process this. Like rankings also shifting a little bit more. But how are you handling those 3 wide receivers? Is there a guy that stands out to you? Like, are you just leaning on the draft capital at 112?
So when I came into the process, Emeka Egbuka was my wide receiver 2, excluding Travis Hunter from that, right? Right now, if you factor in Travis Hunter, I still think long-term Emeka Egbuka is my wide receiver 3 in this class. That's where I'm going to have him ranked, Derek. And
Okay.
I think, but here's the caveat to this. If you are winning now and you need to depend on Emeka Egbuka in 2025 to win you a championship, I don't know if you can draft him above Jaden Higgins. I don't know if you can draft him above Trey Harris, honestly. Like, I would just rather like trade back and see if I can get maybe a Higgins or a Harris later, early in the second round. Or like, I know we're sitting right there at the turn. I know a lot of people don't like the landing spots for the tight ends, but I would take one of the top tight ends over them at this point if I need someone to win now. Where do you kind of rank those 3 guys in order?
So I've got Trey Harris. Let me pull up my. So I've got Trey Harris. The order for me is Trey Harris, Emeka Egbuka, and Jaden Higgins. And I feel like I put Trey Harris above those 2 guys. I had Trey Harris above both of them going into the draft. And now with the clearest path to volume, and it's a fantastic landing spot, and I was super sky high on him. He's the guy that for me he's sitting at wide receiver 3, Egbuka's at wide receiver 4, and Higgins is a wide receiver 5, Golden's at 6. And I think all 4 of those guys, you can make any kind of case you want to for any one of them, whether you're valuing talent, destination, landing spot, like all that kind of stuff, draft capital and things like that. But for me, it goes back to where was I on them pre-draft and now at the landing spot, because I just have a hard time pressing the button for Emeka Egbuka. Like, I love the talent. He was my wide receiver 3 entering the draft. But dude, isn't he just like this year's version of JSN, this year's version of Roma Dunze?
Yeah.
And like, everybody's like, okay, well, I mean, like, how have we seen that play out over the last 2 times that we've gone through this type of situation? And you can say the same thing. Put Luther Burden right in that category as well. But like, how have we seen that play out? We have hope that the talent will send and it'll pay off. The rookie year will go great, and it's crashed and burned for both of them. Now, like, maybe it pays off for Emeka Egbuka, but like, can we also say maybe it doesn't, and he's just a new version of this? So it's like, why draft him when maybe after this year, most likely after this year, I could just go trade for him for less? Like, why?
You make a great point, especially like in Axel's case here. If he has the 112 and the 212, I'm going to assume you won your league last year. So if that's the case, I would absolutely probably be prioritizing these other guys over Emeka Egbuka. And if someone is high on, like work the phones, man. Yesterday, Derek, I was preparing for this stream. I was preparing for other shows. I had 5 phone calls with different league mates, man. Like I'm the type of guy.
I'm like multitasking, like with like multiple screens open, and I'm the same way. Multiple, like, I got trade offers. I'm in our company Slack right now because we have a Dynasty league, and I'm like, hey, just give me a second before you pick. I'm on a show. I'll send you offers, and we'll figure this out after. Just don't do anything until I get off, please.
I mean, that's exactly it, man. Like, you got to be able to work the phone. So if you like Egbuka the best, trade back for him. But yeah, I think there's a ton of value that's gonna. What about the 212? Is there someone who would like? I don't think Jack Besh will fall to you there at the 212. Yeah, I would look at Jack Besh. I know down the board a little bit too. Like, if Jalen Noel is still there, if Kyle Williams, Kyle Williams is a guy that you're not high on. We've talked about this, but in New England, I think he's the second best receiver there. He's walking into that role. So would you take Kyle Williams at like around that 212, or is there maybe a different way you look? Maybe if that's a tight end or somewhere else?
I think it's an interesting conversation at the 212. It's going to be wildly different, especially with drafts that are right now, because with ADP sifting out, the EV, if you're caught up and you've been listening to our shows and the NFL draft show, you're going to be able to siphon off EV from these picks, and whether you're going to have a better feeling about, and the Dynasty draft show with Bogman and Fitz, you're going to have a better feeling about where you're at with players, who you're going to target, where you're going to go with trading up, trading back at the 212. Dude, I could see where we're living in a world where Jalen Noel, Jack Besh, Luther Burden, any one of those guys might be sitting there. I can also see where they're all gone, depending on how people value them and stuff. I think just going based off of my rankings, I'm probably just going to take a shot on one of these running backs. If you're in a tight end premium format, then maybe that changes it, but just in a straight 1 QB, if you have a need at tight end, then you could sell me on Elijah Arroyo or Terrence Ferguson at that point if you need a running back. Because I think all these guys are kind of the same tier, okay? So usually I'm like, oh, we'll take the best player available, but I'm talking about them from a needs perspective because I think they're all on a very similar tier. So I think it's Elijah Arroyo or Terrence Ferguson. If you want the running backs, then it's Bashal Toot and Cam Scatabo are probably there when you're on the clock. If for some reason Jalen Null or Jack Besh is there, they would be the top of my queue.
Agreed with you there. We got Jamie checking in. What's up, Jamie? Good to see you, buddy.
Jamie.
Also, Pedro asking, what did you guys think about the Jaguars trade? Derek, what did you think about the trade? We touched on this earlier in our NFL draft grades episode, but I'd love to hear what you think about James Gladstone getting aggressive as a young general manager and trading up to number 2 overall to acquire Travis Hunter's services.
It's very aggressive. He's either going to look like the hero, and this is one of the defining trades of Liam Cohen and his run there in Jacksonville, however long that lasts. That could be a 15 or 20-year run. Who knows? Could be 2 years. Don't know. But looking at this is one of the defining moments of that regime and that paying off. Now, was it highly aggressive? Yes, immensely so. Especially looking at the rest of their draft. It's like, okay, that's good, not great. You didn't have any other like picks in the high end part of the draft. So you're really hoping like they thread the needle. Like Travis Hunter has to pay off and really hit his ceiling because of where they drafted, how much they gave up. If not, this could be one of the things that whether it's a good thing and it defines it positively or negatively for this regime. So I'm not against taking big home run swings. I don't know if that's the route that I would have gone with considering where they're at as a franchise. I'll say if you really believe, and I don't know what their board looked like, but if you really believe Travis Hunter is head and shoulders above every other wide receiver in this class and his ceiling, then I understand it. But there's an equal spot of it where he's good and not great. And then it kind of looks like you got a little bit of egg on your face. I could see both sides of the coin here.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, man, because this is going to be one of those situations where if it doesn't pan out and you're not a 500 team this year, you just gave away a top 10, top 15 pick for next year. And a little bit of a side story, but like back in the day, I was actually pen pals with Gene Smith. He was the general manager for the Jaguars. My gym teacher in school, he was Gene was his wide receiver coach at Edinburgh. So I told him, I was really into fantasy football. I wanted to be an NFL general manager one day, and got to message back and forth with Gene. I got left on red my last letter to him, and that was because he got fired.
Sorry, dude.
No, that's because he got fired, Derek. And I hope it's not the same for James Gladstone as it was Gene Smith. So just wanted to share that. I like the aggressiveness. We'll see how it plays out here. Are you downgrading BTJ at all? Do you still think he's a first round pick in redraft?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. No, I've been 10 toes down on my thoughts about Travis Hunter. I think he's a very good prospect. I think there's a high ceiling with him, but also entering the NFL, he has got a lot of stuff he needs to clean up from the wide receiver position from day one. I don't think BTJ is his target share, his ceiling. I don't look at that as being impacted. I think you're just looking at, does this really hurt any kind of hope that anybody had for like Brenton Stranges of the world and stuff like that? Like, I think the other thing about it is like, we're talking about this, that target pie is very consolidated. Like it's literally BTJ and Hunter and a whole other lot of schmoes that are not going to garner targets.
Yeah. Agreed with you there. We got Hokey in the chat asking, he has B-Rob as his running back too currently in Dynasty. Do you feel better after the draft that Washington only brought in a round 7 back? And D-Bro, I'd love to get your opinion on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who a guy didn't play a lot in 2024 due to eligibility issues. But there might be something to this guy. I don't know if I do feel great about B-Rob as my RB2. How do you feel?
I don't. I surely don't. I don't feel good about B-Rob. I think that looking at what the Commanders did and didn't do, you look at the hierarchy of needs for them, and it's like they were very much in the camp of, okay, we are going to improve this offensive line in front of our franchise quarterback. We have to keep him healthy. We have to keep him upright. And if we are able to block and give him time, then everything else kind of works itself out. We have better running lanes for the running backs. We have more time to get for the wide receivers and everything. And so I don't look at this as them like being okay with the run game specifically, more along the lines of there were greater needs than running back to address in this draft. And so B-Rob, I think he gets the first crack of the job. But, dude, I love Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt as a player that, like, if he would have played all of last year, he wouldn't have gone in the 7th round. I love his talent, dude. Like, in 2023, 19th in yards after contact per attempt, 12th in elusive rating amongst all FBS running backs with at least 100 carries. You're telling me if that guy would have gone out in 2024 and he was off to a just banner start after the first game, if he was able to finish the season, dude is not a 7th round pick. So no, I'm really worried about B-Rob. And if you're in rookie drafts, you got B-Rob on your rosters, you need to be earmarking a pick for JCM late.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man, because early in the season, B-Rob was explosive. He had 300 or 200-yard games in the first 4 weeks. He only had 100-yard game the rest of the way, dude. So, like, I'm a little bit nervous, I think, if I have Brian Robinson Jr. And, like, let's not, like there's no getting around the fact, too, D-Bro, that, like, they didn't have a ton of draft capital. They traded for Deebo Samuel. They traded for offensive linemen. They did not have capital to invest in running back, and they still got a pretty decent one here in Ja'Cory. So, no, simple answer is no, Hokie. We're not feeling great about that. Here's a question from our guy Camper asking, who are some round 3 guys that you might be interested in? What do you think, D-Bro?
I don't know if everybody can hear the person that decided to do yard work in the middle of the day.
Cannot.
Well, that's good because it's bugging the ever-living crap out of me. All right, round 3 guys. Are we talking Superflex or 1 QB?
Yeah,
I guess I'll just run through it. 1 QB, you're looking at, dude, the guy that we got to lead this conversation off with is Jarquez Hunter.
I knew you're going there. Yep.
Oh, you knew I was going to because we just talked about this, dude. But, like, he is different than Corum and Kyron, and nobody wants to have the conversation. All the Ram stands and all the Kyron stands are going to come for me when I say this. But, dude, nobody thought Rachaad White was going to get Wally pipped last year. Everybody made the argument of, okay, he wasn't efficient, but he kept the job. He wasn't efficient. We understand that, but he kept the job, and volume is volume is volume. And then Bucky Irving comes along and says, hey, guess what? You didn't have a good enough running back to take volume away from this inefficient runner in the previous years, but I'm here now. And then he takes over the job. Jarquez Hunter has the lane to possibly do that this year.
Yes.
And if you look at the talent and the profile of both Kyron and Blake Corum, there's a lane, man. I think it's very, very telling that Corum, after they go out, what was it? He was a 3rd-round pick, right? Off the top of my head. You go out and you spend a 3rd-round pick. He gets injured, but it's not a knee. It's not a hip. Nothing serious. Like, I think he broke his arm. And they go out and they in a draft where, Seth, they don't have a lot of picks. No. And they spend a 4th-round pick on a running back. That speaks volumes to me, dude, because he's also, like, from a talent standpoint, he's a different running back. He has the ability, unlike Kyron and Corum, to rip off explosives. He can handle volume. He tested well. I mean, it's not insane to say that, like, when we're staring at their lineup and their depth chart walking into week 1, if Jarquez Hunter might be the RB2 on that depth chart, and he might start pushing Kyron early in the year for volume. Now, sure, maybe it doesn't happen, but if it does, you're going to be glad that you scooped him up with a 3rd-round pick in any of your drafts. So he's the first guy I want to lead off the conversation. Harold Fannon's another one that I was back and forth on in draft season. But looking at the capital that the Browns invested in him, them filling a need, and David Njoku as an unrestricted free agent next year, I think they drafted him as the heir apparent to David Njoku. So, I mean, that's the 2 top guys. If we're looking at 1 QB, Superflex, you're going to see some other guys kind of fall. Like, maybe you get Tootin, Scattaboo, Terrence Ferguson, one of those guys to drop into the 3rd round. If they do, then fine. But Jarquez Hunter is the guy that I'll lead off the conversation. He's the guy at the top of the 3rd round that I want to get. Assuming that, like, nothing else wild, like Jalen Knoll doesn't fall there and stuff. And I've seen that happen. Like, He's fallen to the 301 in 2 drafts that I've been in.
Oh,
so
wow.
If he's
okay.
there, then hell, I'm pressing the button on him.
It's interesting about the Jarquez Hunter situation because the
Mhm.
Rams already paid Todd Gurley once, and that did not go well. So
Nope, didn't.
I think they will be very apprehensive to pay Kyren Williams. I think there's a world where Jarquez Hunter, whether he's the 1A or the 1B, and I think based on how Blake Corum's rookie season went where he got barely any run,
Yeah. And
like
that's also telling, though, isn't it, Seth?
yeah,
Like,
and I
they
like Blake
put
Corum,
third round
yeah.
capital and then he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, sure, that's a plus for Kyren, but that's also an indictment on Blake Corum.
Yep, exactly. So there's a chance that Jarquez Hunter is leading the Rams backfield as early as 2026. So he's someone I'm scooping up in all the third rounds. Appreciate the question, brother. Here's one from our guy Jamie. He's on the clock at the 105 in a super flex league. The first 4 picks, all running backs. Okay. He's debating between Tet, Hunter, or Ward. He's wide receiver needy, not a fan of Ward, but he understands the insulated value of a quarterback. Nobody wants to trade with him. What do you think here that Jamie should do, Derek?
Tet. It's Tetairoa McMillan. Like, was my wide receiver 1, is my wide receiver 1. I was told he was too slow to go in the top 10 of the NFL draft, and the Carolina Panthers said, the hell with that. We're drafting our dude, and he is going to be the wide receiver 1. Like, he's going to gobble up so much freaking volume, dude. And I'm not moving off of him. I'll take him as high as freaking 102. I have no questions or problems with that. Like,
yeah.
Tetairoa McMillan, like, we got prospect, some people in this cycle got prospect fatigue, and they decided to sit here and talk against Tetairoa McMillan. I think McMillan's coming for those receipts. I think he's going to get 130 targets in his rookie season, and I think he's going to shut a lot of people up that doubted him in the process.
Yeah, I don't hate that call at all. Every time, take out need out of this. Are you taking Tetairoa McMillan over Cam Ward every time in a super flex draft? Probably.
I am, because Cam Ward's still not my QB1. Like, I didn't bump Cam Ward to QB1 of this class. He wasn't the QB1 of this class. He's the QB2 of this class for me. And everybody's like, oh, he's the 101 pick. Dude, Jackson Dart's a first-round pick. I don't care. Yeah. They're both first-round quarterbacks. Yeah. If Cam Ward would have gone at the 110, would you still be saying the same damn thing? Okay, no, then it doesn't matter. They're first-round drafted quarterbacks. The fact that we're talking about 1 versus 25, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. So, like, I understand it, but, like, you talk about the value insulation of a quarterback in Dynasty or Superflex, same thing for wide receivers, dude. They're value insulated. It takes a lot to bump them down. I mean, just look at what Rome is at. Is anybody pushing off a Rome before the NFL draft and saying, oh, we're not sky high on Rome? Yeah. No, everybody's still fully in because of JSN's second year. So the value insulation is there for both, but splitting hairs, yeah, dude, I'm going Tetairoa McMillan over Cam Ward.
Okay. Before we get to some super chats that are coming in, I did want to remind everyone that if you want a chance to win a signed DeAndre Swift Bears jersey for free, courtesy of our friends over at pristineauction.com, all you have to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Drop a comment below on any Fantasy Pros Dynasty podcast video, and that's it. We will be announcing a winner right here on the podcast, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new videos are up and to claim your prize if you are that lucky winner. Let's get some of these super chats. First one from our guy Caps, $2. We appreciate you, Caps, saying 103 Dynasty Super Flex and desperate for running back help. Help, please, Caps. Let us know who's been taken in your draft. I would be curious to know. Obviously, we're imagining Genty's off the board, and then it's probably Hampton or Ward or Tet probably. So obviously, if Hampton's there and you need running backs, you're going Hampton, right, Derek?
Yeah, if Hampton's there, I mean, I think we talked about this before we turned the mics on and the cameras on. I think there's a very serious conversation that people are going to have with themselves that they're not prepared for about Hampton versus Harvey. Looking at, if I were to tell you that Harvey outproduced Hampton over the next 2 years, would you be that surprised? You really shouldn't be. But yeah, in most instances, running back help, assuming Hampton is there, then I would take Hampton. If Hampton's not there, it's RJ Harvey. So
in this position, it does look like Hampton and Genty off the board. I wouldn't be afraid. Trade back if you need running backs, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm either trade back, or the other thing about it is you might need running back. So this is where the conversation of BPA comes in.
Yep.
You need running back help. Take the best player on the board. And I would say the best player on the board is still Tetairoa McMillan. You take him, and then if you need running back help, the other side, the flip side of that coin is now you're not telling us, Caps, that you need wide receiver help. So if you draft the BP, like the best player out there, and it's Tetairoa McMillan, now not only did you take the best player and the value that you can extract if you chose to trade Tetairoa McMillan away, or you've created wide receiver depth which to trade from and just go get a running back with somebody else on your roster. So at the 103, assuming Genty and Hampton are gone, I would take Tetairoa McMillan there still, despite your running back need. Or try to trade back one spot and get RJ Harvey, assuming that, like, the person that you're trading back with. But again, I would go BPA, but what would you do, Seth? Would you just go ahead and take Ted, or would you take the swing on RJ, or say Travion Henderson as your RB3?
Yeah, I would take Ted or Cam Ward. I'm not opposed to still going Cam Ward early. And I get that there are some very appealing prospects out there, but at the same time, I don't mind going Ward. I don't mind going Tetairoa. If I'm desperate for running back help and I need a running back with this first pick, I'm trained back to like the 107 or the 108 and seeing if I can grab one, an RJ Harvey or a Henderson. That's kind of where I am.
Yep.
But appreciate the chat, Caps, and thank you for that. Here we got a question from Sir Brooks II, very fancy fella.
The second, yes.
12
Top
man
of the morning to you.
12-man Superflex League, full PPR. I have Trevor Lawrence, JJ McCarthy, I'm guessing Kirk Cousins, DeAndre Swift, Ramondre Stevenson, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Mark Andrews, Jaden Reed. Are you taking Hampton at the 102? No picks until round 3 or 4. What are you doing, Derek Brown? For our guy, Sir Brooks
again,
second.
Just you make the Kingsman move. You make the legendary moves. You take Hampton at 102. Yeah. Again, this is just BPA, man. Like, it doesn't have to be any harder than that. Like, you're taking the best player available, because I think the thing that people get caught up in too much is, I have a team need of whatever position, and then reaching to fill that position. Guess what? If you're in an active Dynasty league, I'm here to tell you that the season doesn't stop and start immediately like when you're in the rookie draft. Like, there are more moves to be made.
Yes.
So take the best player available. And again, you're going to create an opportunity where either you're creating depth to trade from, or you can trade the player at a later date that you took that is going to extract more value in a trade than if you're like, oh, I'm going to take RB5. I'm going to take Quinshon Judkins over Tetairoa McMillan because I have a need at running back. That's just, it's, to me, everybody plays Dynasty different. To me, that's bad process.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. And it does look like at need, our guy, Sir Brooks, he definitely needs some RB help. He's got Ramondre and he's got Swift and not much else there. So I would certainly be pounding the table for Hampton there. Don't think twice about it. And thank you for the few shekels, my kind Lord.
Should be happy that Swift came out of this, that came out of the draft pretty much unscathed. So you still have second life to be able to probably trade Swift away. Maybe that's another move that you're making during, because that's the other thing. Seth, are any of your Dynasty leagues just like mine, where it's like you get people that they kind of go off into the wilderness and you don't hear from certain league mates, but then they come back like a kid coming home from college. They come back to hang out during the rookie draft, and it's like the flurry of trades, and then like you might not see another trade in your Dynasty league for like another 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, so like right now in the rookie draft is also where you're wheeling and dealing. Like you talked about it, like you got like you're holding up multiple phones and trying to handle drafts and stuff like that. The trades this is the time to trade while you're on the clock or while you're in rookie drafts, because everybody's got the app pulled up and everybody's trying to improve their teams. So take advantage of all the action and people dialed in with it.
Yeah, I legitimately heard from people yesterday during these rookie drafts I had not heard from in multiple months since like the redraft season ended. So I'm with you there. Derek, do you actually, so like I physically call people because I just get too antsy. People be like, I'm making this pick in 10 minutes. And if it's like, I'm like, oh brother, I gotta call you. So I'm like legit like picking up the phone, and I was I was in
That's
intense.
interesting.
Yeah, I was in an intense negotiation yesterday. I traded out and I traded back in. I trade out. I trade back in for Tyler Warren at the 110. And I was just like, listen, brother, I ain't getting off this phone until I get that 110. So
Two things I have to highlight here for you, Seth.
yes.
Okay. First of all, you got like this Macho Man, like Hulk Hogan thing. Apparently, when you go on, I was like, "Oh, brother!" But second of all, so like apparently, I need to call you one of these days just to see if this crosses over to the phone lines. Second of all, how millennial of you! I'm quite proud of you. I mean, for your age, it's like texting. Like
Snapchat.
I'm more inclined to think that like you're Snapchatting people or texting. You're calling people. I'm impressed, dude.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you, Seth.
Thank you.
I really am. As the
I
boomer in the room, I'm very proud of you right now.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I actually call all my friends a lot. It's kind of weird.
Do you walk outside? Do you touch grass as you talk to them on the phone? You're like, this is the time, baby. I feel alive right now.
Dude, that's
in the front yard.
I'm an old soul,
like
baby.
You're slinging trades, sitting in the front yard, touching grass on the phone.
Yes, sir. I'm an old soul. I'm an old soul for sure.
I love it, dude.
Sir Brooks, thank you for the question, brother. We appreciate it. Let's go ahead and bring up Bean Media's. Wow, that's a good name for a media company. Bean Media. I'm not a coffee guy. You're not really a coffee guy either, are you, D bro?
No.
Energy
I
drinks.
can't handle
what?
I can't handle coffee just because the aftertaste that gets to me.
Same. I runs right through me. Yeah, I feel you. Being Media asking, he's got the 103, he's got the 104, he's got the 109 as well. He is QB needy. Who should he take the 103 and the 104? Ward's gone. Should I use my capital to get to 1-2, or should I use 1-9 for another quarterback? Ooh,
I think so. Bean, put this in the chat. What do you have after the 109? Because the way that I would approach this is, so I kind of did something similar. Like if you have a quarterback issue and stuff like that, like I have no problem with anybody taking any of the quarterbacks in this class, like as high as, where do I have them right now? I have them starting at the quarterbacks at the 105. So for me, if I was sitting at the 103, 104, the move I'm trying to make is I'm trying to get up from the 109. Like I want to get into the 105.
Yeah.
I would be talking to that team and saying, okay, what is it going to take for you to move back? Like, do I need to give you the 109 and a 26 second? Do I need to give you the 109 and like, do I have an early or say a mid second? Because I think one of the things in just kind of diving through ranks last night, this class got really top heavy really fast in the sense of like all of these running backs and all this value we were going to mine. Well, the NFL said, screw all of that. All these running backs dropped to the 5th, 6th, and 7th round and didn't go in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round like we were hoping for. So a lot of like the deeper parts of this class were like, all right, solid bets became dart throws. So for me, this class became more of one where I'm like, I'm moving around to get my guys. And I think this class became that much more top heavy. So I'm trying to move up. Like I'm going to take whoever I need to take at the 103, 104. The fact that you need a quarterback, I would be just crushing the person with the 105, trying to move up from the 109 and seeing what is it going to take to make that happen. So, because I doubt. So, saying that they need to get up at the 102, they said Ward is gone. So Ward just went at the 101 is what they're telling us. So if Ward went at the 101, Genty is going at the 102. So you don't have to worry about the quarterback being gone at 102. I don't think that's going to be the case because there's too much stink around Jackson Dart for people to do that. So, okay, so in this, I would offer the 101, the 109, and the 202 right now to the 105.
Yep.
Because I made a similar trade yesterday. I had the 105, and I was like, I like Jackson Dart. I had the one. So I'll just play this out. I had the 105 and the 106, and I was like, what do I do here? I want to get one quarterback, but I feel like it's too early. I want some more depth. I traded away the 105 for the 110 and the 202 yesterday in a league. I think you can flip the 202 and the 109 to get up to the 105. So you just take whoever you want at 103, 104 and get your quarterback at 105 is how I would approach it. But Seth, I mean, am I crazy? What do you think?
No, you're dead on. And it's so funny you say that because I had the 201 and the 109 in a draft. And I
Did you move up?
I had that offer on the table I was going to give those to my brother to move up. And then actually what happened is I ended up getting a crazy trade. Someone was panicking on Roma Dunze. I gave them the 109, the 201, and I got Roma Dunze, and I got a first next year from a different manager that is probably going to be a top 3 or 5 pick. So I got.
But this is all to say you could have done that same exact trade.
Yes,
you could have given up.
I was going to
the
do
109 in the early second and gotten up into a top 5 pick. And it's like, dude, you can make those moves right now. I think like with ADP so unsettled and people still trying to figure out who's going to go where, this is the time if you have been dialed in on the Dynasty show, in these live streams.
Yep.
On the NFL draft show, you are dialed in and you have our rankings pulled up on the second screen. This is the part where you can make those moves and take advantage of the EV where other people are like, well, man, I don't know how I feel about this class because I'm still trying to process it. Yeah. You're ready to rock.
Let's go, baby. One more tool that you guys can use to make sure you're making the most of your Dynasty rookie drafts is our Dynasty Rookie Draft Simulator, which lets you complete a mock draft in minutes with no waiting between picks. You can customize your league settings to match your league's exact format. And if you're a premium subscriber to Fantasy Pros, you can actually test trade scenarios by mocking with your traded draft picks. Prepare for your rookie drafts and Dynasty startup drafts all in one place. Use the Dynasty Rookie Draft Simulator to dominate your rookie draft today at fantasypros.com/simulator. Looks like we got a super chat. Just a thank you from our guy, Jamie, saying Seth and D-Bro are fantasy geniuses. Joey P is amazing. Joey P is amazing, man. I wonder what Joey P's up to.
I'm not saying anything good about Joey P. His head's big enough. I will not do it. I will not do it contractually. No, I love that man. Yeah, no, he's awesome. Love Joe.
Yeah. He's like my uncle. I love Uncle Joey, baby. Got that nice bald head too.
Do you call him on the phone when you're sitting in the front yard, Seth?
I haven't yet, but I bet Joe would be a nice conversation. Except he lives in New York City, so I'm sure there'd be like
call me every now and then.
Trains
and a walk around the neighborhood. Yes, Joey P likes walks.
All right. Here we got from Steve Gonzalez. What's up, Stevie? Saying I have the 105 and the 106 in a 1-quarterback league. He needs a running back. Do I take both Ohio State's running back if there, or do I take Hunter if one of those running backs are there? His wide receivers currently JSN, Nico, Wilson, T. Higgins. So stacked at wide receivers. Desperately need running backs. What are you thinking here?
I mean, Tet's not going to fall to you, but if he were to, obviously he's number one. Like for me, so assuming that the top of the board goes Genty, Tet, Omarion, which I think most 1 QBs are going to go. That top 3 is probably locked in.
Oh yeah, 1 QB.
Hunter, so the variability is like Hunter. Where does he go? Does he go at the 104 or does he slip to you? Because I could see somebody taking Travion. So, I mean, I think the board is 104 is going to dictate what you do.
Yeah.
If Hunter is there, I'd take him and then just take whoever your favorite out of RJ Harvey and Travion Henderson. My favorite is RJ Harvey.
Agreed.
If Hunter goes, then just double tap running back. I mean, I think 104 is going to tell you what you're able to do. Once they select, you're going to see it's taking 2 or 3 of Hunter, Harvey, Henderson, which whoever the 2 that are left, take the 2.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. And like, can we have a conversation about real quickly Quinshon Judkins? How do you feel about him? Because Derek, you and I were both a little bit lower than him in consensus when we were coming into this process. And while I love the draft capital from the Browns, and like a lot of people, it was one of you guys on the live stream called him potentially a Nick Chubb 2.0 clone. But then we have Dylan Sampson, who also got drafted in the 4th round, led the SEC in rushing this past year. So I don't know how I feel about Quinshon Judkins, especially because Jerome Ford is still there. Jerome Ford is not a nobody by any means.
I'm lower on Judkins. I've been lower on him in the entire process. Now, I will say because of landing spots, draft capital, things like that, I did bump him up from my RB10 to my RB6.
Okay.
But I still have him below Genty, Hampton, Harvey, Travion, and Caleb. And I know people could be surprised, like, because Caleb got 3rd round capital and Quinshon there was 2nd. Everybody loves Quinshon. I think it's very, very telling of the fact that this team, who you could say they didn't have a lot of picks, had a lot of picks, however we want to approach that, decided to reset their backfield by using not only a 2nd round pick, but a 4th round pick. Dude, they could have reset their backfield considering all the value of running backs on the board. I mean, freaking Devin Neal went in the 6th round, dude.
Right.
They could have gone 2nd round and Judkins. they could have easily taken him in the second and then backfilled the position with like a round 5, 6 pick, 7 pick, whatever, but they didn't. So I think the Samson pick and the draft capital they attached to him says enough that I don't think this is going to be just truly Quinshon Judkins backfield. I think this is Stefanski and company rolling it back and saying, hey, could we get an updated version of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt? Could we do that? And if that's the case, people might be a little bit out over their skis about how high they are on Quinshon Judkins. And I'm just not a believer. Like, I'm not as high on his talent just in general. So now if we go from Quinshon is bell cow, second round, to Quinshon's a 60% guy,
sure,
65% guy, and then the red zone stuff is kind of the luster kind of gets worn off.
And he's not catching, he's not going to catch a ton of passes.
That's the thing. He's not a pass catcher. He's not.
And Samson,
what did he show in his career? Well, Samson's not either. But
Jerome Ford is.
But how does Cleveland view those guys versus Quinshon Judkins? If we could say Judkins is not a pass catcher, then after that, okay, well then who's going to be the pass catching running back is up for debate. But the debate is still stopped at it's probably not Quinshon.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm there with you too. Steve, appreciate the question, man. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit, brother. Another super chat from our guy, Sir Brooks II. If he's trading AJ Brown or DK Metcalf, what are you asking for? So first thing you're going to do, go to fantasypros.com, look up the Dynasty trade value chart. Pat Fitzmaurice is slaving away on this all the time. And when I looked at what he was valuing AJ Brown specifically, he's thinking you can get somewhere between the 103 and the 104 for AJ Brown, which I think Pat is dead on with that. Any issues with just looking at AJ Brown? Would you do, if you're rebuilding, would you trade him away for a top 5 pick in this draft?
Yeah, I'd do that. I would have no problem with that. I mean, AJ Brown is right at the cusp of, he's right there at the, I love to call this like the Julio Jones, Mike Evans corollary, where it's like they get to the age mark of where they are immensely more valuable on your team than they will be ever in a trade, where they just keep outproducing and stuff like that. I feel like AJ Brown is right at the cusp of that. And to me, if I can get out and I can re-roll it with a top 5 pick, you said to 103.
Yeah,
I'm doing that. Like if you could do AJ Brown for the 103 and then go draft Tetairoa McMillan, I would do that. Yeah. Like, because the thing about it is like AJ Brown is going to outproduce him this year, but if that gap isn't as wide as people think, and not only after this year, but next year, we know like AJ Brown, considering where he's at as far as age wise, his value is going to go down, and Tetairoa McMillan can only probably go either hold his value or go up from here.
Yeah, agreed with you there. DK Metcalf, Pat's saying roughly the same, but a little bit less for DK. He's thinking you can get maybe the 105, the 106, somewhere in that range. So I think Pat's dead on right there, man. Like, yeah,
dude. I would put both of them out there on the trade block and see what offers you get. If you get similar offers and it's like, am I trading away AJ Brown or am I trading away DK Metcalf? I'm getting rid of DK Metcalf, because the fact of it is like, who's the quarterback after this year? We're assuming it's Aaron Rodgers right now, but we don't freaking know.
Yeah.
So like we're assuming based off of the moves and the non-moves that the Steelers made, but what if it's not? What if it comes down to like Aaron Rodgers pulls some kind of mess and he's like, he tells the Steelers, oh yeah, I'm going to go play. And then he changes his mind. Can we rule out, Seth, and you're a Steelers fan, so you tell me this. Can you rule out 150% that Aaron Rodgers, there's a scenario where he just decides to retire?
No, you can't roll it out. And then
what do you
Rudolph?
Yeah, what are you looking at with DK Metcalf if it's Mason Buckethead Rudolph? Like if that's the case, and he's in the center week 1.
Yeah, and Will Howard maybe the second. Yeah,
Will Howard.
And there was already a lot of steam coming out of Pittsburgh too that maybe they were going to be trading George Pickens. We heard that rumor time and again over the weekend.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with moving DK or AJ Brown for any of those picks. And I, again, like them a lot. They're going to provide value for your team. But if you can get an early to mid first round pick, Sir Brooks, go ahead and make that move, brother. Here's a great question. And a $10 super chat from a guy, James.
What's up, James?
What's up, James? he's looking for advice for draft strategy for a 4-man keeper, full PPR redraft league. He's just starting this league and saying, D bro, my metal brother, let's go.
Love it.
So D bro, I play in a couple keeper leagues. They are super flex. They're also tight end premium, but I often target young players in this because I played in a keeper league where I cut Justin Jefferson his rookie year for a 13th round pick. And I got him the next year for an 11th and a 9th. And I'm just now letting him go after all these years. Same thing with like Brock Bowers last year in a tight end premium league. I got him in like the 8th round as a keeper. Like he is a stud. So like that would be my thing is like target. I don't want to say go productive struggle, but like definitely target, especially in those later rounds, rookies and second and third year players. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and I would say you're aggressively targeting players that can be foundational pieces, I think is exactly what we're both saying here. And whether that is a player that you're going to have to spend up, like if you're going to just look at the running back landscape in Dynasty though, too, Seth. It's kind of a freaking mess, dude. So like aggressively target Ashton Genty, aggressively target these running backs where we think not only it's can you be a foundational piece for my team for not only the next 2 years, but the next 4 years? If, like you're in a league like that's going to keep on rocking and rolling 5-6 years down the road. And maybe that doesn't happen, but it doesn't like you need to build your squad with the idea of who can I take in a keeper league that is still going to be on my roster in the next 3 years and still hold value. And that's the foundational pieces. That's the guys like Ashton Genty. That's like Tetairoa and McMillan. I don't give a crap what his ADP is. I want to get my guys because ADP is still forming, but he's another guy. Top 10 selection in the NFL draft. First round selection. And whether or not Bryce Young pays off, okay, then fine. Carolina is going quarterback hunting next year. Okay. So to me, it's what players can you either get at a discount or can you get that you view as foundational pieces at that point in the draft? And I will aggressively target them, especially guys like a Tet that is going to, he's probably being vastly undervalued in the market right now because they see Carolina and they're like, I don't know how to deal with that, so I'm going to avoid him. Yeah. So if you strike with irons hot, it could be like, okay, we flip over the cards and after his rookie season, everybody's like, he's a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. I was told he was slow. I was told Bryce Young wasn't going to do anything, but he did. And now I'm wrong. That's how you build, like you collect foundational pieces and you build a team where you're 3 or 4 years down the line. And now you've got like a Justin Jefferson, because I'm old enough to remember this, Seth. Wasn't Olabisi Johnson running ahead of Justin Jefferson?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if you were doing a draft around that, you'd be like, oh, crap. Well, maybe I should be worried. But if you leaned into it, now you're like, everything's roses. So find foundational pieces and be aggressive. Get your dudes.
Yeah. Final thoughts here from me, James, is every draft pick you're taking, think, is there an out where they are going to be worth this pick next year? That's the bottom line for me. Like, I don't want these aging veterans. I don't want these guys like Mike Evans who might not be around next year or, well, he'll be around next year, but might not be worth that same value.
Brown, perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
We're looking at next year, the value is going to drop. 2 years from now, the value is off the cliff. Don't go for guys like that right now. That might outscore some of these guys this year, but what if they don't? Yeah. Like, what if they don't? Like, I understand, and this is almost like to kind of play out the conundrum, or I guess where the anxiety of doing this comes. It's like, didn't we feel both very similarly about Malik Neighbors versus Marvin Harrison Jr., but now those values are wildly different? But what if you went to the Malik side and you do hit the home run? So you got to be willing to risk it for the biscuit too.
Certainly. Got a ton of questions coming in here. We're going to do a little rapid fire. First one from Darth Twerk. Did I just hear some North Carolina twang in Negro's voice?
The name. Oh, no, you heard twang, but it's wrong part of the country. Louisiana twang.
Louisiana, brother.
It comes out the more, especially when I get really worked up.
Here we got Adrian waiting on the 111 to draft. If he doesn't take RJ Harvey, should I pull the trigger? Yes.
Done. Yeah. Harvey.
Over Ibuka? Over Ibuka?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got Harvey at 107. I've got Ibuka at the 112.
Especially if you're in a win now, which sounds like you are, Adrian. One, you're listening to the show, so you're probably winning your league. And two, Also, you're drafting late in the first round. So if you need to win now, RJ Harvey, I have no issue with it either. 108 fair value for Flowers.
So actually, it's funny enough. We have a league that a lot of content people are in. I just sent an offer last night. Worm, I hope you're not watching this show. If you are, just turn it off real fast.
Ravens fan, yeah.
I sent an offer for Worm. I think the 106, 107
Yes.
is about where I'm at. So if you're asking for the 108 for Zay, I would take it straight up, but I would also ask for like a third.
Yeah.
I would ask for a third. I would ask for a third.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I would ask for the third is if you can get a third in the 108, there's a chance where you can also move up, get that 108, and then just offer the 108 in the third or some other semblance of a package and move up from the 108 to get something else for maybe cheap. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. Pat on the trade value chart, he's saying between the 104 and the 105 might be fair for Zay. So yeah, if you Brian,
I don't think you can get the 104 one. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't usually go against the chart, but I think it's a little. I mean, do you think you can get the 104 or 105 for Zay? I
probably not.
I think it's a little much. I think like the 106 is probably the highest I would push it because
but the 108 and a sweetener, 108 and a sweetener, yeah, definitely for sure. Omarion or Ward in a 12-team Superflex league. Stevenson is his RB2. Quarterbacks are Burrow and Mayfield. And if my running back is Stevenson at the RB2, it's Omarion. I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, take Omarion. Like I think like that's where BPA and need kind of line up. I think it's totally fine. Omarion would be my pick. Yeah.
Absolutely agreed with you there. Mike, joining late, so apologize if it's been discussed. It was not discussed. We have not discussed this. I promise you this.
Oh, no.
Ollie Gordon in Miami. D-Bro, talk a little about Ollie Gordon. I know you and I both weren't super high on him in the process, and now he lands in Miami, but he is the only, like, big running back there, right?
I mean, he is, but in a Mike McDaniel system, is that something we're gravitating to? Not for me. I get it. I was not high on Ollie going into the process. I'm not high on the landing spot. He had no draft capital attached to him, dude. Like, it's just, if I'm taking late shots on guys, you're betting on that type of draft capital. You are betting if they hit, they have to be an outlier. I don't think Ollie Gordon has the raw talent to be an outlier. Yeah. Maybe he could be a guy if injuries strike and stuff like that. He's the piecemeal starter for a few weeks, but I even have a it's a really hard thing for me to believe that we will walk out of 2025 if everything went Ollie's way and he was the locked in starter going into 2026. I can't see an outcome for that.
I agree with you. Chief TPDB saying Bears currently the only team that 7th round RB could win your fantasy league this year. How do you feel about Kyle Monangai coming out of Rutgers? He's had some great seasons in the Big Ten the last 2 years, over 1,200 rushing yards, Derek. He's been a factor for Rutgers, which has been a really nice turnaround. They've kind of been the fodder of the Big Ten like almost my entire life. And to see them have some winning seasons recently has been great. And Monangai has been top of the conference this year in rushing attempts and second in the conference the year before in rushing attempts. So do you like him maybe to potentially unseat Roschon Johnson as the RB2 and even maybe garner RB1 reps in the Windy City?
All right. I'm going to answer this twofold. I like Monangai. I don't see him. Now this is framed the 7th round running back that could win you your fantasy league. If I'm taking a 7th round running back and I'm hoping they can win my fantasy league for me, that guy is not Kyle Monangai. That guy is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. If we're going to go with the 7th round running back that has an opportunity for playing time, that's the direction I'll go. Now, what I will say for Monangai, he's not a pass catcher. Nobody should expect him to catch any passes. So really, everything he needs to do for you is on the early downs, and he's got to accrue volume. Can he do that? It's possible. I think there's a range of outcomes where he can become the big back part of that backfield over Roschon Johnson with a new regime there. Is that a bet I want to make? Not necessarily. I would much rather draft Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Okay. Here's a $4.99 chat from our guy Divine Life 82, one quarterback IDP league. He has the 102 and the 103. Does IDP in the fact that he's in a rebuild change whether he should be switching to Tet from or switching to Hunter from Tet? What do you think here?
No, man. Like, okay, here's the thing. All right, let's play this out, Seth. Do you think that Jacksonville gave up the farm to go get Travis Hunter because they needed him as a full-time cornerback, and that was really what was going to move the needle and why they got so aggressive to pay up for him? No, I don't either. I think he's a full-time wide receiver. I think Jacksonville emphatically just stated that he's a full-time wide receiver. Now, if you take Hunter, you take him over Tet with the idea that he is your wide receiver one. He is your wide receiver one in your rankings, and that's why you select him, not because of the IDP stuff, because I think that the price they paid to get up, how aggressive they were to get up, is not a move you make for a cornerback. That's the move you make when you think he's a franchise and difference maker wide receiver. So for me, no, I would still be taking Tet over Hunter, but I know that I'm in the minority with that. A lot of people have Travis Hunter as their wide receiver one. More power to him. And if that's your wide receiver one, the end result of this is take whoever your wide receiver one is. Don't worry about the IDP portion of this.
Yeah, I'm dead on with you, man. Whoever you think is your wide receiver one, that's the play here. Yeah. We still don't know if Travis Hunter is a full-time wide receiver. Maybe we see him in specific sets. Maybe he locks down the slot occasionally on defense, but it's too much to factor in. So just go with whoever you think is going to be the best wide receiver in this class. But love the question, Divine Life. Thank you for the super chat. Love the response from our guy D-Bro. Got time for another one here from a guy Mixed Kebab, $9.99. What's your favorite kind of kebab, Derek? Are you like a lamb kebab guy? Or are you like a beef kebab, chicken kebab? What kind of kebab are you rocking?
So if I'm making it at home, it's probably some semblance of, I like to combo it. Like I like to go full surf and turf. So it's like chicken, steak, and shrimp on it. And I'll do like peppers and onions and stuff like that. And mushrooms. That's kind of like the trio of things, or not trio, but like the grouping of things. Yeah. Now if we're just talking about straight up meats, oh dude, everybody's not a lamb guy. I'm a lamb guy. I will definitely like
same.
Same. Totally done with that.
Agreed with you. I used to work at
lots of Brazilian steakhouses, sir.
Yes.
Lots of meat comas. Yeah.
I used to work at a Greek restaurant in college, Greek pizza
place. Dude, gyros.
Oh, dude. Baby. Yeah.
Oh, you speaking to my heart right now. I love it.
Greek food is the best. I learned so much. I learned so many good recipes from them. Feta cheese, everything. It goes with everything.
Cabbage rolls, baby. So underrated.
I don't think I've had a cabbage roll. Sounds good. I love cabbage. Question though from a guy Kebab. Hey D bro, I'm at the 207. Also Seth, you can say hello to me as well, Kebab. That's all right. I'm at the 207 in my rookie super flex draft. He took Trey Harris based on your recommendation at the 204. Nice snag, Kebab.
Let's go.
He's deciding between Milroe and a tight end of Arroyo or Mason Taylor and a half-point tight end premium league. Thanks. So would you go with Milroe, or do you go with one of these tight ends with the tight end premium factored in here?
Tight end. I don't even care if it's not tight end premium. It's the tight end, and it's Arroyo for me. Arroyo has the highest ceiling out of between him and Mason Taylor. Arroyo has the highest ceiling. And here's the problem that I have with drafting quarterbacks, especially this high, even in a super flex. Draft capital gets you opportunities. Now, can you buck draft capital? Sure. But draft capital gets you opportunities and continued opportunities. Yes, we have third round, sixth round quarterbacks that get starting jobs, and those things do happen. But if I were to tell you what is the best bet you can make right now about who is going to get opportunity and sustained opportunity, if I were to tell you Jalen Milroe, it's an outlier bet that he becomes a starter, much less even that he's a multi-year starter with third round draft capital, man. Like, just use the Malik Willis corollary. A guy that was hyper efficient running the ball, incredibly talented. I would argue as good, if not better arm talent than Jalen Milroe, but much of the same issues, and he got third round capital. How many opportunities did Malik Willis get? And now he's a backup in Green Bay, and you're like, crap, I wish I would have taken the tight end. No, it's just you follow draft capital and you look at opportunity. Now, am I going to take that bet at the 207? No. But if you're talking about in the
Mhm.
4th round or a late 3rd round of a super flex draft, am I taking Shedeur Sanders knowing that, okay, he himself does not have draft capital tied to his name? The bet that you're making and the draft capital you're attaching to that in a super flex draft is widely different. So at the 4th round, sure, let's go with that bet. Down with that bet. But take Dylan Gabriel in your 4th, 5th round.
Right.
Fine with that. But at the 207, hell no. I'm going Elijah Arroyo, especially with the tight end premium.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Kebab. Thank you for the super chat, man. Loving the Kebab talk as well. We appreciate you, dude. And
We love food. Love food
yeah,
around here.
yes, oh, absolutely. We appreciate everyone who's been tuning in with us today. If you didn't get your questions
Bob
answered,
even said hi to you, Seth.
oh, let's
See?
go. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, brother. If you guys didn't get your questions answered, go over to fancypros.com/chat. You're going to join our Discord. Derek has an AMA over there as well you can get invested with. If you don't want to talk to Debro, Pat's over there too. You got Erickson. Bunch of us over there have our own AMA Discord channel. So make sure you're getting in there. Ask some more questions. Also, ask the community members, guys. Like, poll your other community members here in the Fancy Pros Discord, because it's thousands and thousands of fantasy football people who just love this and soak this in every single day. So make sure you guys are getting invested over there at the Discord, fancypros.com/chat. And D-Bro, that is...
Before we get to this, I don't want to interrupt you, but like on the Discord specifically, I'm going to be in there a ton, especially with everybody's rookie drafts. So start tagging me and stuff. I'm going to try to like squeeze in extra time, especially this week, because I know rookie drafts are popping off. I'm going to do some impromptu lives, like some stages in there. Just honestly, just hopping in there when I have free time, answering as many questions as I can, and interacting with our Discord community, because everybody is so freaking awesome in there.
Yeah.
But if you didn't get your questions answered here, head to Discord. I'm going to be in there, and you can ask me questions 24/7, 365. I'll answer them when I get to them, but we are going to be doing stages and stuff in there too.
Even your kebab questions, we got those over there.
Yeah, too. Food, music, we got channels all up in there. I'm totally down for music and food questions to talk.
And Jamie doing my job for me, reminding everyone to get the My
professional
Playbook
plugs.
app.
The community does it for you, Seth.
Let's go. Too easy is this show. Guys, thank you so much for riding with us live on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, not just today, but all the last few weeks here leading up to the NFL draft. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. You can check out more of Debro and myself on the Fantasy Pros NFL Draft Show right here on the channel. We'll have some NFL draft grade episodes for you out later this week, or wherever you get your podcast. If you're not here, well, if you're here on YouTube, you're already probably watching, but either way, don't forget to come join us over in the Discord. Download that My Playbook app. Again, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. For Derek Brown, I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all. Thank you.
101 of meats, Seth. Is it steak? Is it chicken? What is it for you?
You steak
can even
with
go
aioli.
like crazy.
Steak with aioli.
Oh!
Yeah.